Hi there, this is Heidi with Just Free Fitness. I'm going to actually go over and do some training, basic training on using the tool MyFitness Pal. I have so many friends that have asked me different questions, so let's start and see what we can do. We're going to start with setting up your calories. Now, I don't recommend using what MyFitness Pal does because it tends to put everybody at the lower end. There's plenty of tools out there that you can use to find out your total daily expenditure. Mine at the moment I have already figured out. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to show you how I set mine up. So you go under Home and then under Goals. And then under the goals, you go to Change Goals. And that'll pop up a screen. It shows guided. Now if you go through guided, this is what they recommend and they'll determine it for you. However, because you've already determined your total daily expenditure from a different site, we're going to go with custom because we know our number. So hit custom and go to continue. And then once we're there, so here's my totals right here. I would click in the 1529. Now what I want each of you to do is with macronutrients, which is your carbohydrates, protein, and fat, to start off, I'd like you to do 50%, 30%, and then 20% for your total fat. This is a good place to start. Also, scroll down to fiber. And for women, I want you to just type in 40 there because 40 is a good number. Not 4,000. 40 is a good number for women to try and attain each day with fiber. Because protein and fiber is going to be the most important, especially when we're working out. So then go ahead. Don't worry about any of the other stuff right now. Hit change goals. That's going to update. So that's the biggest thing. That's where I want to start. As far as the fitness goals here, I don't want you to put anything there because we already know by doing the other spreadsheet, this total daily expenditure, that already has your base metabolic rate, which is what it takes for basically to breathe all day and live. Also, it has included in there how many times a week you work out, and it has subtracted how much you want to lose. And this is all something you would figure out in that spreadsheet. So we don't want to put any fitness goals in because it'll change the number and we don't want to do that. So as you can see, it already has it from daily normal activity. This is what it's going to say. So I'm in a calorie deficit of 411 calories a day, almost a pound a week. So I've hit my change goals. So now if I go back to my home, go to add food. As you can see, I'm at 1381, zero exercise. Again, I don't use this to track exercise because I've already got that calculated in my number. So the other thing I want you to understand is, because one of the biggest things I see people doing is they go through the steps that are recommended for MyFitnessPal, which does ask you if you're sedentary, active, whatever, gives you your final number, which includes the activity you already told it you would do for the week, and it gives you that full calorie that they recommend you do daily. So if you did do it that way, you do not want to add additional exercise in because it's already calculated in that number. So there is that. So don't add any extra exercise. Basically, find that number, your daily goal, live by that, do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, then we want to adjust. We'll figure out, this is where you'll start listening to your body. So now I have listed calories, carbs, fats, protein, sugars, and fiber. You can change that by going into your settings. And right here, this is where you would pick what you would like to see in the front. These are the items that I chose because these are my macronutrients. Sugar is always a big thing to watch, and fiber is super important. Also, you can choose what you want your meal names to be. So you could have, say you don't do evening snack, you only do this. So you could just type those in. That's completely up to you. Diary sharing is also here. Now, if anybody would like me to look at their diary and give them suggestions, then they'll need to be friends with me and choose friends only. You can also make it public if you want anybody to be able to view your diary. But as you go in, the default is private. So if you want to share your recipes or you want to have someone look at your diary, you got to choose one of these other public ones. You hit save changes, your diary is all updated, and you're ready to go. So now what I want to show you is some of the great tools that you can use actually using the diary. So we have set up our carbs, fat, and protein, 50, 30, 20. These are the numbers I want you to focus on. Those 3 numbers right there. Boom, boom, boom. I know this is going to get affected, but these are the numbers I want you to understand. Also understand that even if you have just one item on there, it's going to show things. Now, the difference between the computer and the app is that you're able to get a pie chart on your phone to show you where you're at percentage-wise for your carbs, proteins, and fats. You can't get that on the computer, and I'm not even sure why. Doesn't make sense. You should be able to. Okay, so here we go. This is the stuff I want to show you that makes life so much easier. First of all, I always meal plan, which means I am planning tomorrow, today, because when I get up in the morning, I want to know exactly what my meal plan is going to be and what I need to eat. By meal planning and not journaling, which is journaling is after you've eaten it, it's much harder to come up with those numbers at the bottom, the carbs, fats, and proteins, if you're journaling, because then you're juggling all day to try and figure out, oh boy, I need more of this, I need more of that, less of that. So if you plan it, you have it all in for the next day already, you're good to go. So I'll show you quick tools. For example, these are wonderful tools right here. So what I do is copy to date, copy to, I already have tomorrow in, so I'm going to actually copy to Wednesday. So instead of having to re-enter everything every day, especially if you're like me, I tend to eat the same foods all the time. So there it is. Wednesday's breakfast already entered. So I'm going to go back. Let's take a look at Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Here it is. I already have everything in there. My snacks, my lunch. Oh, I don't have dinner in yet. Okay. So the quick tools, you get to quick add. Also, for example, let's go back to Monday, which is today. For dinner, I had a boiled dinner, pork, cabbage, carrots, etc., etc. So I am going to want that for leftover for lunch tomorrow. So what I would do is quick tools, remember meal. When you remember a meal, it puts it under your meals here. I think I already put it in there as boiled dinner. So you name it whatever you want to name it, and it'll be under your meals. So if I go to, because I made a big batch, so if I go to Wednesday, I can choose add food, my meals, scroll down, find, I called it boiled dinner, and add it. So I'm adding it to lunch because I know in a couple of days I'll have it for lunch tomorrow. Okay, so there it is. What's good about that is, like I said, if you have recipes or menus that items that you like, my salad, for example, when I build my salad, it's pretty much the same thing every day. So I remember it as a meal, as a salad, then I can just go in the next day or whenever I'm choosing to have my salad, and I can just quick tools, add it, find my meals, add my salad. Because as you can see, you need to add every line item to make sure they count, which is the other thing I'm going to discuss. I want to make sure that you understand everything should be, to really be accurate, you need to weigh and measure your foods. Especially when I see people saying coffee creamer, they only used a tablespoon. So many people use 2, 3, 4 tablespoons, depending. So be very, use a scale. I promise it'll make life easier. Have your measuring cups next to you, whatever you need. So there is the quick tools. Recipes is the other thing I wanted to show you. I have found a lot of recipes with the clean eating and with Shakeology. So what you can do for a recipe is, as you can see, these are my recipes here. You can go in, add a recipe manually, recipe name, whatever. Then you would type the ingredients down below. Make sure you put in the serving size. If the recipe says it's 2, 3, or 4, fix that. You match the ingredients. It'll choose whatever's closest to that ingredient, and then you would hit a check mark if that is the ingredient you would use. So then that would be in your recipes. So under your food diary, when you go to choose to have, like this evening, I am having my chocolate Shakeology pudding. I would go to add food. Under my recipe tabs, and here are all of my recipes. I would choose it. You can change this if you choose not to have it for an evening snack. Instead, you're going to have it on something else. It would be there. All right, so that's what we're going to start with. I don't want to go too deep any further. I will probably do a follow-up on this because there's other things I want to show you. But the other things I want to show you are also on the apps. So I'll have to do this via my iPad or my phone. But that should get you started. Again, if you've calculated and you put that you're active when you set up your number, do not add the exercise because it'll take off calories for you, but you've already put those calories, it's already been calculated. So you're going to end up consuming more calories than you were supposed to. So I hope this helps. And let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at hkeenan, KEENAN 523 at gmail.com, or you can visit me at www.justbrefitness.com. Thank you.